Just recently, more details emerged of Jon Jones' recent arrest in Las Vegas. MMA reporter Mark Raimondi tweeted, Jon Jones allegedly pulled a woman's hand, headbutted a police car, causing damage to the vehicle. According to the arrest report from the Las Vegas Metro PD, more coming to ESPN, Jon Jones finally reacted to his recent arrest and he posted this on his Instagram stories with the caption, "I have way too much trauma to consume alcohol. My brain simply can't handle it anymore. I will leave my alcohol in my past forever." He followed up with, "Turned this nightmare into the best thing to ever happen in my life." He followed up with, "Now is the time to work harder than ever." He followed up with, "What the devil means for bad, God means for good." He ended it off with, "Get right back on my horse." After Aljamain Sterling pulled out of his title fight with Petr Yan due to lingering neck issues after he had his surgery, Cory Sandhagen has now stepped up and will face Petr Yan for the interim UFC bantamweight title at UFC 267. MMA reporter Brett Okamoto posted this on his Instagram with the caption, "With Aljamain Sterling out indefinitely with lingering neck issues, Petr Yan and Cory Sandhagen will fight at UFC 267 for an interim title per Dana White. Fascinating style matchup here, looking forward to it." After Tyron Woodley recently got the tattoo Jake Paul requested, Dan Hardy was very critical and tweeted, "Anyone who has a tattoo knows that's not a tattoo. What a dork." Tyron Woodley responded back saying, "Keep my name out of your mouth. Name ain't I told you once, you haven't fought in a century. You're a spectator and a fan now. Just watch buy event t-shirts." He followed up with, "You can't get cleared to thumb wrestle." He followed up with, "Your UFC career is embarrassing. You claim to fame is you got stomped by GSP and didn't die. Everything was by design. I'll keep setting trends while you tweet." Dan Hardy responded back saying, "You're trending because you got at Jake Paul tattooed on your finger. Well done, congratulations on your championship success. I remember the crowds booing in appreciation as you wore your heel out against the fence, backing up and avoiding the fight." Tyron Woodley responded back saying, "Belts and titles, things you dream of. They cheered as you were carried out on a stretcher. Champs now were in diapers last time you fought. Keep living your dream on the bag in your garage. From outlaw to Uber black driver." Dan Hardy ended it off with, "We're the same age, you fool. It's just that I was competing in the UFC a bit earlier, during the reign of the greatest welterweight champion of all time. You came after." A 3-round middleweight bout between Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson has been targeted for UFC 270. Jared Cannonier is coming off a unanimous decision win over Kelvin Gastelum, and Derek Brunson is coming off a submission win over Darren Till. A 5-round heavyweight bout between Derek Lewis versus Chris Daukaus has been targeted to headline a UFC card on December 19th. Derek Lewis is coming off a TKO loss to Cyril Gane. Chris Daukaus is coming off a TKO win over Shamil Abdurrahimov. A 5-round bantamweight bout between Jose Aldo versus Rob Font has been targeted to headline a UFC card on December 4th. Jose Aldo is coming off a unanimous decision win over Pedro Munoz, and Rob Font is coming off a unanimous decision win over Cody Garbrandt. A 5-round heavyweight bout between Alexei Oleinik versus Greg Hardy has been targeted for UFC 270. Alexei Oleinik is coming off a unanimous decision loss to Sergey Spivak, and Greg Hardy is coming off a KO loss to Tai Tuivasa.
But New Zealand's not that racist.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I don't mind all the online talk, all the jibber jabber, because it's online. But, I mean, you know I'm outside. You see me outside. You see me out and about. All that, say it to my face. I really challenge you. I implore you to say it to my face so I can f you up on sight, allegedly. Allegedly, cause that's how I sleep at night, cause I know I can f you up if I want to. All that jibber jab, meh, but I know I can. So that's how I sleep at night. I hope you do too.
Michael Bisping on the Believe in Me podcast gives his thoughts on Jon Jones' latest arrest in Las Vegas.
Not Jon Jones, because we don't know any of the details yet, but it doesn't look good. I will say that. Listen, we don't know details of the arrest that's come out. It's domestic abuse and apparently damage to a car, but no actual details. He was in court again a couple of days ago. He's got another court hearing on October 26th. All we know is at 5:45 a.m. police were called to his hotel room, Caesar's Palace, and he got arrested. Whatever happened, him and whoever it was, and I'm assuming it's a female because it says domestic abuse or domestic violence, whatever.
Let's assume it's his wife.
I doubt they were having a spat. It could have been his wife. I doubt, because his wife was at the Hall of Fame thing. It's such a shame for him. You know what I mean? Listen, if you act stupid, then you make your bed, you lie in it. You know what I mean? But still, here's a guy, he's got millions of dollars, he's very rich, he's famous, and he's got a lot of problems. At October 26th, he's back in court, so I'm assuming then maybe some details will emerge. But it's just embarrassing for him as well. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I like Jon. Every time I see Jon, I always have good interactions. I saw him recently in Vegas and he came over and we had a good chat. He's a good guy and he's a fucking hell of a fighter, let's be honest. He did run his car into a pregnant woman and then run out of the car and then stop because he was out of breath and then go back to the car, and you think he's going back to check on the woman, but he's not. He went into his own car and grabbed his drugs and his cash and then run off. At the end of the day, you know, whether or not you like them as a person or if you can't stand them and you think they're evil and they're scum, as a fight fan, we want to see what they do in the ring or the cage. You know, and what Jon does in there is fantastic. Of course, that doesn't excuse his actions.
Yo, while we out here recovering after the celebrations, I just want to thank everyone for the support. The support back home has been incredible. Obviously can't get back to everyone, but I appreciate every single one of you. Everyone that helped me in camp as well. I didn't get to give you a shout out. All the boys that were in the bubble with us and got me ready. You're the legends. Mate, how good. And again, support every single one of yous. Love yous all. Mwah. See yous when I'm on.
Kenny Florian on the Anik Florian Podcast gives his thoughts on Nick Diaz's TKO loss to Robbie Lawler at UFC 266.
Yeah, listen, I think it was evident that, you know, Nick had taken 6 years off from fighting. I don't know a whole lot of people who would have been able to do that, period. You know, and it just kind of connecting the dots a little bit. I know Jake Shields had mentioned something to the effect that, I don't know if it's accurate or not, but he's mentioned something to the fact that, you know, Nick only had 6 weeks to prepare for this fight. You know, that, of course, is difficult. It seems like that's maybe what Nick was talking about, or how I don't know how this fight got put together and why it got put together under these circumstances. Obviously not ideal for someone coming off a 6-year layoff. So yeah, listen, you know, at the end of the day, it's hard to you know, say anything bad about Nick though too, because you know, the dude has done everything possible you know, throughout his career to put his heart and soul out there in the octagon and fight his ass off. And I think this was one of those situations where you know, it was a little bit too much too quickly for him. You know, Robbie Lawler has stayed active during those 6 years, and Robbie Lawler is no joke. Nick's pace was really impressive. I don't think the speed was there that we're used to seeing, or perhaps the same accuracy, but the pace that he was putting on and the fact that he was landing shots on Robbie and actually hurting him was really impressive. Those body shots were beautiful. He was throwing more kicks in this fight. He was doing a lot to go out there and get the win. It just wasn't enough against Robbie. It just seemed like Nick kind of ran out of gas and ran out of answers to that forward pressure from Robbie Lawler.
Robbie, what's up? How you going on, man? So a couple years back, we started kind of evaluating the program and said, it's a shame that any news that comes out of this program is bad news. There's so much good news going on. We've had 50 successful tests under the program, blemish-free. Look at your career, you were a champion for a year. You had 2 successful title defenses, arguably 2 of the best fights ever in the history of the UFC. So hopefully this is a small but significant stamp of approval on your career. And it's been a pleasure to work with you. So your 50 times jacket, congratulations.